So my response to the argument given to the first affirmative constructive is that, well, to summarize what he said that life begins at conception. Instead of aborting, a better method is adopting, and that abortion gives women intense physiological pain. So, he wants to overturn, or he says that overturning Roe versus Wade will benefit, I guess, society. But even if we were to overturn Roe versus Wade, it doesn't mean that abortion will be illegal. There are some states in the United States that will allow abortion to happen regardless if Roe versus Wade is overturned. For example, 7 states such as California, Connecticut, Hawaii, Maine, Maryland, Nevada, and Washington have passed laws that protect the right to choose abortion prior to viability or when necessary to protect the life or health of the woman. So basically, if Roe versus Wade were to be overturned, the woman wouldn't just stop aborting and they wouldn't stop having sex or anything. They would still have an abortion, but they will not. They will go to other states where it's legal, so they don't get fined or stuff like that. So my response to that life begins at conception is that, okay, I'm gonna agree, fetus is a human being. Okay, I'm not gonna convince you guys that fetus is not alive. I'm pretty sure we all know that a fetus will eventually be a human being. However, a fetus cannot survive on its own. Fetus and NBC News said that fetus feel pain around 7 months of pregnancy. Researchers at the University of California, San Francisco reviewed dozens of studies and medical reports and said that data indicate that fetuses likely are incapable of feeling pain until around the 7th month of pregnancy when they are about 20 weeks old. Also, abortions are most likely not going to be done when the fetus is viable. So, according to the Good Measure Institute, 46% of abortion providers offer very early abortions before the first menstrual period, and 95% offer abortion at 8 weeks from the last menstrual period. 61% of providers offer at least some second trimester abortion services at 13 weeks or later, and 34% offer abortions at 20 weeks, and only 16 of all abortions perform the procedure at 24 weeks. So basically, the fetuses are not viable when most abortions are done. Like I said earlier, fetus is alive, however, fetus cannot survive on its own. And then the New York Times said that a study involving 5,000 babies born between 22 and 27 weeks gestation found that 22-week-old babies did not survive without medical intervention. In the 78 cases where active treatment was given, 18 survived, and by the time they were young, toddlers, 7, or those did not have moderate severe impairment, 6 have serious problems such as blindness, deafness, and severe cerebral palsy. So, yeah, okay. So, also when he said that abortion causes intense psychological pain, there are some organizations and resources that will help women cope with these psychological damages. Help and Healing is in one organization that, Abortion Recovery Network is a network of ministry that provides information and counseling for those suffering after abortion. Lumina Hope and Healing After Abortion, a post-abortion referral network that offers group programs, retreat, and for women and men, referrals to professional therapists, post-abortion ministries, and clergy members trained in post-abortion stress. So there are various organizations that are willing to help women who are in distress and who do need help. So women who are struggling, and they're not alone. Also, most women who had an abortion do not regret terminating the pregnancies. In an article written in the Time, after a 3-year research period, in which nearly 670 women were regularly surveyed on the subject on their abortion, the sample group was diverse with regard to standard social metrics, race, education, and employment, and of the matter of what the study calls pregnancy and abortion circumstances. Financial considerations were given as a reason for an abortion by 40% of women. 36% had decided it was not the right time. 26% of women found that decision very or somewhat easy. 52% found it very or somewhat difficult. Also, most women are not depressed after an abortion. In an article from the WebMD, the study found that most women are not depressed because they got an abortion, but because of previous activities before that. And so basically, he also mentioned that if we were to, instead of aborting, we should keep the baby because we don't know if that baby will be successful. Well, how do we know which baby will be successful and which one is not? There are several people who grow up to be bad people, Stalin, Hitler. So just because one person or several people were successful in their life doesn't mean that everyone will be successful.